Dragging ourselves away from the Granville Harbour coastline wasn't easy, but after a few cannonballs in one of the many rock pools, we've had to load up camp and head towards Hobart. With a quick stop in at Horsetail Falls to stretch the pins at the old copper mining town of Queenstown, we were back on the road, until a last minute call to turn left came over the radio.
Wow, that was absolutely incredible. And here I was not even going to come in to start with. The wall, I guess it's an art gallery, but every single thing in there is carved out of local Tasmanian timber. Incredible. There's like pairs of gloves that look identical to a pair of gloves, but all carved, completely carved out of timber. Yeah, pretty damn impressive. I'd definitely stop in. This is native to Tasmania.
Is that carved from wood?
This isn't carved from wood.
Oh, good.
It's carved from pizza.
I got worried. Going to the
This one is not exactly on the way. Being 100 clicks in and 100 clicks back out, we were super glad we took the time to come and see Gordon Dam. This incredible piece of engineering is Australia's largest constructed dam.
Tonight's campsite. It is gorgeous. Sun shining for about 10 more minutes till it ducks behind the hill. What's on the menu tonight?
We have a honey teriyaki chicken stir fry with lots of vegetables.
Vegetables?
Yes, have you heard of vegetables?
I remember those.
Some of your finest work, Matt.
So we got a tent pole in
Some gas strut stuffed up.
I guess you could call
Yeah.
it a bonnet pop.
I guess this is another patrol breakdown.
They're just so unreliable.
Gas struts.
Known for it, I think.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's a show shutter.
Yep, a show shutter.
Show shutter?
May as well go home, mate.
Show
Stopper.
stopper.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'll leave it here with struts like this.
Oh, we'd at least push it into the water, I reckon.
Just checking the power in the struts at the moment.
Yeah, they're non-existent.
Well, you got a circuit.
Circus. Had a little bit of good fortune today. Went to the national park to get the key for the Ridgeback track. Sawback track. And they only let 12 vehicles on a day, or at a time, and it was booked out for all 12 spots for the one mob that was coming in to do it from, I think, Briny Island. Bruni. We walked out of the car park and we saw all them guys rocking up and had a word to them, and they said there's only 9 of their vehicles end up rocking up, so we had spots for 3 vehicles, which happened to be our 3 vehicles. So that was a bit of bloody good luck. Had a bit of a change in plans due to probably something we may have got away with, but
May not have.
could have been a real pain in the arse too. Matt just stuck his head under the car right at the start of this Sawback track and happened to see his CV boot on the passenger side with a tear in it.
Completely shredded, basically.
So he didn't want to risk it. We don't know what this track's like. It might not be too bad, or it might be shocking. So yeah, we've booted the girls out of the trip. They're going to take Matt's car and head to the national park office and just basically waste 5 hours or whatever it's going to take us to do this.
10 minutes in and we're already slipping around. so rather than taking a run up, Mark calls for the winch to climb the step. And as Matt's riding shotgun, he'll be running straps, so hopefully there won't be too many hold-ups. We've been told that the track condition is unknown, and it could be very overgrown with fallen trees. Let's hope there's a few surprises for us. Nick approaches with ease also, but after switching the locker on, doesn't have a problem. Not far up is a nasty looking puddle, so we choose to try and get around it due to there being massive logs in it that can be seen just under the surface. Again, we need to suss out the track before driving it. Here, a massive tree has fallen over the track, which has already thankfully been cut to get the vehicles through. And throw in ever-present mud, and this is turning into quite an adventure. Matt straight onto the winch again after Mark's poor effort of driving through some mud. Out of nowhere, Mark has a huge bang come from the Jeep, so we stop to suss it out.
Everything seems good there.
The noise turns out to be the Jeep jumping out of first gear, which has happened before and doesn't seem to be too much of a big problem, so we continue winching. With no traction, the winch is pulling the Jeep right over a big log, giving the sliders a good workout. Once past the log, it's smooth sailing and time for the patrol to come through. Once again, no winch needed, and Nick straight through without a problem. The Sawback Range Track is located in Adamsfield in Tasmania's southwest. The track is locked, but a key can be obtained from the Mountfield National Park Visitor Centre. A refundable deposit has to be paid, and there are only a few vehicles allowed per day, so booking ahead would be a good idea. Like most tracks in Tassie, a chainsaw is a must-have item, and once again we need to stop to get out and clear a fallen tree. Further along and the landscape has totally changed. What was a muddy forest, we're now driving through a bushland. And here, it's all big holes that are cycling the suspension, which is exactly what these vehicles are set up to do. Mark's come to a suspicious looking puddle, and after checking it out, he wants the winch ready to go should it be needed. And with a heavy right boot, Mark manages to drive out, taking with him a fair share of the mud. And after Nick sees a Jeep drive through something, he relaxes, knowing he won't have a problem. The further we go, the easier the track seems to be getting, and before long, we've reached a nice little camp spot at the end of the track. From here, we'll be beelining it to Hobart, with an overnight camp along the way.
Mark's Jeep's on fire once again. That should be right there.
Solid roof.
Surrender to the sound. Don't forget the crowd. Harmonies allowed. I want it, you want it. You were holding on, waiting for something that wasn't meant for you.
Well, we've made it to Hobart. Bit of R&R, chill out for a couple of days, see the city. Looking forward to it. Whilst getting some relaxation in, we also need to check over the vehicles after doing a few pretty tough tracks. So we know we've got a CD boot to replace in the Hilux. That's all good, we've got the spare, so we'll do that tomorrow. But I've also had a lot of like squealing and rattling in the brakes. Had the front off, cleaned it all up, checked it out, and then the rear pads are just shot, need replacements. You see it started to score the disc. I'll replace those as well. Around fixing up the vehicles, we also want to head out and see the sights, and the first on the list is the historic Port Arthur. An absolutely amazing place and a must visit for all Australians. We were just blown away. The stories these walls can tell is simply chilling.
My shock issue. Well, as you can see here, this is a good one. This is what I pulled off. You can barely even compress that. The other day we saw oil and this cap off the other day, and there's no rebound whatsoever. It's pissed most of its oil out. There you go. So I've got two. They're not remote res adjustable. They're just Foxes still, same travel. But we put them in yesterday, and I'm going to have to send this one to get repaired. Not really too sure why that's happened. They're brand new shocks. But yeah, hopefully it gets fixed. We didn't want to just change the one out because the valving can be different and it could potentially fail another shock. So that's the plan. Marco will pick his rotors up today and chuck them in. Tomorrow we've got one more night here. So we'll enjoy that, but the weather's meant to be turning pretty pear-shaped. I think there's over the next 4 days is meant to be about 100 mil of rain, potentially. So we are heading up the east coast and see if we can't get smashed by some crap weather. Matthew, Hilux is all good?
Hilux is good. Just went for a test drive, didn't see if it was right.
No problems?
Seems pretty good, no noises, boots are still on, so...
Nice, nice. Giving it a bit of a wash, I see too.
Clean, yeah. She was pretty filthy.
You couldn't take the tracker down and give that a clean either?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Still fighting the battery issues. If this was a trip far north Queensland or to the top of Australia somewhere where it's hot, this would be more of an issue and I'd be more concerned about fixing it. But with Tassie's climate, besides charging batteries, the only thing running off it is a fridge. So it's not a massive issue, and I think I'll just sort it out when I get home. Where did we pick these up from, Mark?
Ordered the rotors from ABS, got them overnight, which is very handy. And just picked the pads up from Repco, had them in stock. So, out with the olds, in with the news.
Quick job.
Yeah, easy.
Nice having extended brake lines that big that you don't have to
Have to hook them.
hook them.
Yeah, it is handy. This little tool, quite handy. Might even be worth adding to the toolkit.
Well, we've had a couple brake issues this trip.
Yeah.
After being tourist for a couple of days, we head over to the east coast where it didn't stop raining for days and experienced some of the worst camping we've ever had, which even resulted in us staying in a cabin due to the bedding and clothing all being saturated.
The other day we got some pretty upsetting news from home. Come as a massive shock to us. So we've had to split up the group again. Mark and Kristen are going to continue with the trip, and Matt, Allyce and myself, we're heading home. We rescheduled our ferry tickets, so yeah, we're on the ferry tonight. We've stayed in St Helens last night, or just out of St Helens, and it's like shit weather, shitloads of rain, heaps of wind. No one really got any sleep. Mark bent his awning, and then yeah, so we've come towards Launceston now, heading towards Devonport to catch the ferry tonight. We'll get back to Melbourne on Sunday morning and get back to South Australia Sunday arvo for a funeral for one of my good mates. And yeah, unfortunately shit happens, but just gotta deal with it at the time. Yeah, it's best to be around our friends and family.
Well, as Mark and Kristen will continue to travel Tasmania, Nick, Allyce and Matt farewelling the island due to some devastating events. It hasn't all been smooth sailing, with terrible weather, breakdowns, and now an abrupt ending. Looking back on it though, this trip has blown our expectations out of the water. Getting sidetracked with close friends, that's what we love. Tasmania, we'll be back.